Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another stream. I hope you guys are all doing well this morning. Um, of course, in this stream, give you guys a little update on what's happening with Bitcoin and crypto because we are in fact seeing a small correction down to the downside, right? But you guys can clearly see Bitcoin is still above $30,000, which is absolutely amazing to see, right? And I think 30K is in fact a new, obviously a new support level for Bitcoin because we have in fact been seeing Bitcoin at $30,000 for quite some time now, right? But some major news did in fact come out. Someone out there, a company, of course, has bought a large amount of Bitcoins. And in today's stream, I want to talk about that. Okay. There's a lot to, talk about for today's stream, what's happening around, Bitcoin and crypto. So of course, I want to, give you guys an update on what's happening in the markets. So right now, okay, Bitcoin is currently at $30,000, still holding up very, very well. Okay, it is in fact having a small correction down to the downside. You guys can clearly see that right now it's currently at 30,100. Yesterday we actually saw around 30,600, somewhere around there. Okay, 30,700 even. So it is obviously having this small little drop right now, back down to the downside for the past few hours. But it's still above $30,000. And I think, okay, like, we could potentially see Bitcoin have a correction back down to, $29,000, maybe even $28,000. But then after that, right, after Bitcoin has a small correction down to the downside, below $30,000, I think that's when we will in fact see Bitcoin, bounce back up to 30K, 31K, and of course, reach a new all-time high for 2023, $32,000, 33, and just will continue on from there. Now, the market this morning is looking pretty good. Actually, not really. The market overall is down over 2%, 2.1%. The global crypto market cap has dropped slightly, 1.16 trillion. You also see the dominance for Bitcoin, though, is still above 50%, which is absolutely amazing to see. 50.4%. Ethereum's coming at 19%. So that's still great to see, right? But you also clearly see for the past 24 hours, Bitcoin is down 1.9%. Ethereum is down over 3%, right? BNB down 2.8%. XRP, right, 3.8%. Cardano, 6%, right? So a fair few altcoins are in fact having a drop today, actually. Polygon, 7%, right? What's Chainlink looking like? 5% for Chainlink. So yeah, a fair bit of altcoins today are in fact dropping for the past few hours. But it's understandable, you know what I mean? A couple of days ago, we actually saw altcoins pump, right? Had a little recovery, but now it's slightly dropping today. But that's okay, everything's still holding up very well. So there is in fact a fair few charts that I want to show you guys for this stream. Okay, and you guys can clearly see that, we haven't actually seen Bitcoin break over up to like $32,000. You know what I mean? Like we've seen Bitcoin reach around $31,500 and then had a correction back down to the downside, and then actually, touched $31,000 once again, and then it just had a rejection back down to 30K. And this is where we are right now. So I really do believe once we break above $32,000, I think that's when this rally will in fact continue. Okay, the next leg up, right? Now, yes, like I said earlier, that we could potentially see another correction, a small correction down to the downside for Bitcoin, right? That is very, very, very possible at this point. So time will tell, we will see. But so far, Bitcoin is still at 30K and it's still holding up very, very well, right? It really is. And I showed you guys this chart in yesterday's video. If you guys haven't seen my most previous videos that I uploaded a few hours ago, you should definitely check them out. But this chart right here indicates that we could potentially see another rally up for Bitcoin, up to around $35,000, I want to say. Okay, so you guys can clearly see, if I just go like this, so you guys can completely see, because I don't know, my camera's in the way. But when we had the FTX crash, right, that's when we saw Bitcoin crash, and of course the entire crypto market crashed, and we saw Bitcoin drop all the way down to around like 15K. Okay, and then we saw it, in between $16,000 and $17,000, mainly 16K for the past like few weeks, back November and December, right? Last year, who remembers? It was literally consolidating at that level. And then we saw Bitcoin all of a sudden, beginning of 2023, pump, right? This is where we can zoom in now. We saw it pump, okay, all the way up to around $24,000. Okay, had a little rejection and then pumped once again, and then actually had a pretty decent rejection back down to just below $20,000, around 19.8K, right? And then all of a sudden it pumped once again, okay, back up to this resistance line, and of course reaching above it, right, reaching a new high. Okay, you guys can clearly see that, right? And then we know just recently, a couple of weeks, right, we saw Bitcoin have this slow, very slow downtrend. It was in fact forming this little downtrend, and obviously a couple of days ago we did in fact break above it, right? You guys can clearly see that, and you know, we are in fact back up at its resistance line, which is pretty much, you know, $30,000. Okay, so you guys can clearly see that Bitcoin is still holding up very well. Okay, and it seems like, you know, history and these patterns will repeat. Okay, every single time, you know, it bounces back up to this resistance line, it always, you know, breaks out of it. And this is where we are right now, right? So we could potentially see at least a 35K Bitcoin shortly, right, in the next few weeks, potentially, right? So be excited for that. Look, it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin, right? $35,000 is like a magnet. I've been telling you guys that many times. Okay, it really is, and I wouldn't be surprised, you know, in the next few weeks, you know, 1 week or 2 weeks even, you know, Bitcoin bounce back to, you know, $35,000 finally, right? It's been quite some time since we have seen Bitcoin at 35K. So it would be amazing if we saw Bitcoin at $35,000, but time will tell. But I reckon that's an easy target in the next couple of weeks, right? Easily. And it seems like it's not just me. Other people out there, right, agree as well. You know what I mean? So it's looking pretty good. Now, I've never heard of this line before. I've showed you guys this chart before. Okay, and this chart is indicating that right now Bitcoin is in fact having this crossing midline. Okay, crossing midline. Okay, and we had a similar crossing midline back in 2015. You guys can clearly see it right here. Okay, you guys probably can't see it, but right here, right? We had one back in 2015, and then after that, right, Bitcoin absolutely pumped up to the upside, right? We know what happened in 2017. We saw Bitcoin absolutely pump to like $19,000. Okay, so that's exactly what we're seeing right now, right? So potentially, it's all ups from here, right? Yes, along the way, you know, Bitcoin's obviously gonna, you know, consolidate, have little corrections every now and then, but it's all ups from here. So it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin, right? It really is. It's looking pretty good for Bitcoin overall, guys, right? Our bull run should be happening very soon. We know the Bitcoin halving is obviously going to happen less than 1 year from now. So exciting times, I must say, exciting times. We all know that. Now, here's another chart on where we are right now. You guys can clearly see back 2017, we were here, okay? And then it pumped. You guys can clearly see that obviously had another rejection. And then we are here back in late 2020, around December, and then early of 2021, it absolutely pumped. You guys can clearly see that. And then of course we had another rejection, and we are here right now. So obviously, right, we have already hit bottom, right, last November and December. And it's obviously creating a new pattern up to the upside. So that means it's all ups from here, guys, right? It really is, okay? So it's looking pretty good. It's literally like clockwork, okay? There's always different cycles that we enter, obviously a bear market and a bull market. And obviously right now we're still in a bear market, just like where we were yesterday. But I will say this, we are obviously still in the early stages of the next bull market. How do I tell? Well, all of 2022, we saw Bitcoin drop massively, like over 70% drop, 77% drop estimated, right? From its previous all-time highs to previous lows, okay? And, you know, we are obviously forming a new pattern out of that falling wedge, right? That we have in fact been seeing. And it's obviously breaking out from, you know, its lows, its previous lows. So it's all up from here, guys. And this is pretty much the next bull market, right? Potentially. We're still obviously in a bear market. Bitcoin is nowhere near its previous all-time highs. So I want to say we are in fact 100% in a bull market just yet, but it's starting to get there, right? So that's great. Now, I talked about this before, okay, in my previous videos, but if you guys don't know yet, this is massive, right? $27 trillion coming into Bitcoin. And that's why, guys, for the past few weeks and a few months even, we have in fact been seeing Bitcoin pump because all these institutions are in fact, coming in to just not just Bitcoin, but just crypto in general, like the crypto space. You know what I mean? And this is absolutely massive. We know BlackRock, okay, is coming in, okay, filing for Bitcoin ETFs, and they are in fact partnered with Coinbase, which is amazing. I'm gonna just zoom out a little bit so you guys can sort of see it. We've got Fidelity, we already know. Okay, we've got JP Morgan, we've got Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, we've got BNY Mellon, Invesco, and Bank of America. At total assets, 27 trillion, right? $27 trillion. And this is not all of them, you know what I mean? There's many more, right? But these are the top ones, right? The top institutions that are in fact coming in to crypto in general, right? So this is absolutely amazing. This is obviously very bullish for, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, right? It really, really, really is. All these institutions coming in, crypto pros, right? And of course, the little banks out there, we know, okay, are in fact doing something with Bitcoin and crypto as well. So I really do believe in the future, this will in fact continue. More institutions and banks will start, filing for Bitcoin ETFs and whatnot, right? Just coming into the crypto space in general, you know what I mean? So it's looking pretty good, right? It really, really is. But yeah, that's that. Now, let's get to the main story here for this stream. Absolutely bullish. We know Michael Saylor is a Bitcoin maximus. All he cares about is Bitcoin. And I don't think Michael Saylor buys anything else other than Bitcoin. I don't even think Michael Saylor buys Ethereum, right? I really don't think so. Because he doesn't talk about Ethereum. He just talks about Bitcoin, right? When he's investing into crypto, Michael Saylor just mainly talks about Bitcoin. So obviously he is in fact a Bitcoin maximus, okay? But literally a couple of hours ago, just last night actually, yesterday, okay, MicroStrategy, and we know Michael Saylor is the CEO of MicroStrategy, the company, okay, and they have bought more Bitcoin. They have acquired a additional 12,333 Bitcoins for $347 million. $347 million. Pretty much 350 million, guys. A massive buy for Bitcoin, okay, at an average price of $28,000 per Bitcoin, right? And that's the date right there, the 27th of June, okay? And now, right, MicroStrategy, okay, the company, we know they are obviously the biggest company out there that hold a whole bunch of Bitcoin, okay, the largest company out there that hold a lot of Bitcoins, right? And now in total, they hold over $150,000 Bitcoin. Or not dollars, but 150,000 Bitcoins. 152,333 Bitcoins that they hold in total. That is literally millions, hundreds and millions of dollars, pretty much, right? And I remember MicroStrategy like a couple months ago, we were buying into Bitcoin, like they'll buy like 480 Bitcoins, but they went heavy this time. They bought over 12,000, over 10,000 Bitcoins, right? So this is at least 350 million Bitcoin buy right here. Okay, so this is crazy. You know what I mean? And we know obviously Michael Saylor, he's very, very bullish with Bitcoin, right? We know that he talks about Bitcoin all the time. If you guys actually follow him on Twitter and on his Instagram even, he always posts photos of Bitcoin, right? You guys can clearly see that. Keep the Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is digital property, okay? There's just many more, right? Bitcoin is winning the war versus gold. We know gold doesn't really move much, okay? But that's that. Gold, yeah, it doesn't move. But anyways, Bitcoin is immortal, right? You guys can just clearly see Michael Saylor just posts a whole bunch of photos about Bitcoin. You guys can clearly see that. So obviously he's very bullish with Bitcoin, right? And yeah, they literally just bought, right? MicroStrategy, biggest company out there, that has bought more Bitcoins. literally just yesterday, over 12,000. So this is pretty bullish for Bitcoin, right? Marcus Saylor's obviously stacking more, okay, buying more. And that's exactly what we should be doing as well. But I ain't gonna lie, I think they need to slow down. Can you imagine holding over 150,000 Bitcoins? 152,333 Bitcoins. That is literally hundreds and millions of dollars at least. I don't even know how much that is, honestly, but I know it's a lot, right? It's crazy. You know what I mean? It is absolutely crazy. And I already know Marcus Saylor. I think he's a billionaire. Okay, I don't think he's a millionaire. He's way, way more wealthier than that. He's obviously a billionaire, I believe. So it's just crazy. You know what I mean? How much Marcus Saylor is just very bullish with Bitcoin. Okay, and I'm not surprised. You guys know I'm very bullish with Bitcoin as well. You guys know that, right? I'm never bearish or anything, right? I'm mainly bullish, just like Marcus Saylor. And we all should be like Marcus Saylor, right? Once you actually do your research on what Bitcoin is, right, it makes sense. You know what I mean? For all the people out there that, you know, doesn't understand what Bitcoin is, what's the technology behind it, what's the use case behind Bitcoin, they haven't done their research, you know, their full research, right? So you just have to really do your own research of what Bitcoin is. I highly suggest you guys to look up on the internet, you know, the Bitcoin white paper. Will be the first link. Click on it and just read through it, and it will totally make sense on why the creator of Bitcoin created Bitcoin at the first place, right? And he's obviously still remains a anonymous person, Satoshi Nakamoto. We have no idea who this person is, right, or woman, man or woman, or a group of people. But personally, I think it's one individual, and I think it's a man, right? That's just my personal opinion. But you know, this person has created this asset, right, for transparency, you know, decentralized transactions, right, which is absolutely amazing. There's no banks controlling it. There's no government behind it. It's literally decentralized, which is amazing, right? And obviously in this generation, in my opinion, is something that we need. So that's why we are in fact seeing a lot of different institutions and banks filing for Bitcoin and just coming into the, you know, the crypto space, right? So just think about that, guys. So the future for Bitcoin and crypto is looking pretty bright, right? It really, really is. So that's that. Now the Bitcoin monthly returns, 10% for this month so far. We are in fact coming to an end for June. Tomorrow is going to be the last day of June, and then it's going to be July. So we are in fact 100%, 110% going to end off this month in the greens. Okay, so that's absolutely amazing to see, and I'm surprised because previous years, we know usually June, you know, Bitcoin doesn't really, you know, perform that great for this month, but you know, we'll see how it holds up. And then July should be a great month for Bitcoin because, you know, usually July Bitcoin does actually perform really, really well. So July should be, you know, a great month for Bitcoin, right? So that's going to be upcoming because that's literally just next month. So it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin, right? It really, really is, guys. Now the Free and Greed Index is currently at 62. It's gonna update in the next 3 minutes, but right now it's currently at 62. We're still in greed mode. Yesterday we were in greed mode. Last week we were in fact in greed mode as well. So it seems like there's a lot of greed in, you know, crypto right now. So that's, you know, amazing to see. But yeah, fair few altcoins actually dropping. Pepe is down 11%, right? So Pepe is now dropping back down. But yeah, fair few altcoins today for the past 24 hours are in fact dropping. You guys can clearly see that. It's pretty much a red day today, pretty much, right? Majority of altcoins, including Bitcoin, are in fact seeing a slight drop. And we could actually see Bitcoin drop below to $29,000. We could buy today. Potentially, we will see. But it's still holding off everywhere at $30,000, right? It really, really is. Okay, so someone just says, okay, I'll read some of the comments now, sorry. Someone just says, they got 0.0036 Bitcoins right now, trying to accumulate my first one by this year. Amazing. Right, that is exactly what I want to see. I really want you guys to, you know, have that goal, like this person, right? Shout out to Frequency Vortex. I really want you guys to have the same goal as this person, right? Accumulating their first Bitcoins. Okay, we know where Bitcoin is going to be heading, long term, right? So I really want you guys to understand that, you know, where Bitcoin is going to be heading long term in the future, right? And I really want you guys to hold one for Bitcoin, because we know where Bitcoin is going to be heading, right? 10 years from now. Well, we don't really know, but we know it's going to, reach a crazy number. So holding one for Bitcoin will potentially make you wealthy, will potentially make you a millionaire and have some type of freedom in life, right? Not financial advice, but this is just my personal opinion. Again, I really do believe, to answer that question of, how much Bitcoin should I own to, become a millionaire and become wealthy, right? Have some type of wealth with Bitcoin. Just simply hold one for Bitcoin, one Bitcoin. But hey, if you can hold more than one Bitcoin, then do that, right? The more Bitcoins you accumulate and own, the more wealthier you will in fact be in the future, especially long term. I'm not talking short term here. I'm talking long term, right? With holding one for Bitcoin. You guys understand the supply for Bitcoin is limited. There's only 21 million Bitcoins. In fact, there's less than that. We know that because a fair few millions of Bitcoins have in fact been lost, throughout the years. So realistically, we have less than 21 million Bitcoins, which makes it even more scarce. 21 million itself is already scarce. So less than that is even more scarce. And not everyone out there can own one for Bitcoin. There's 8 billion people that live on Earth. There's over 60 million people that are in fact millionaires. Not even all the millionaires can own one for Bitcoin. That's how scarce Bitcoin is. So if you're watching this stream right now and you own one for Bitcoin, just know you're in the 1%, right? Not a lot of people out there actually own one for Bitcoin, right? But I'm telling you right now, this is your biggest opportunity to accumulate as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. And people are looking at the price, right? $30,000, that's expensive. And it is, right? Bitcoin is not cheap, right? For one coin. It really, really isn't. But just understand this, guys. Bitcoin will eventually reach $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, a million and millions of dollars in the future. Of course, I'm talking long term, right? So imagine buying one coin right now for $30,000 versus buying one Bitcoin for $1 million, right? Imagine how much harder it will be to accumulate one full Bitcoin when it's at, $1 million versus $30,000, right? So it's obviously going to be harder and harder and harder to accumulate one full Bitcoin once the price keeps rising, right? Low supply, high demand. The price will eventually keep rising. There's just not enough, right? It's very, very simple, guys. Just think about that, right? Put it in that perspective, right? So just think about it. Okay, and this is what I always try to, tell you guys to, I beg you guys to accumulate one full Bitcoin, because it's going to be extremely rare to own one full Bitcoin. Like today, nowadays, it's not really rare. Okay, I know a fair few people that hold, multiple Bitcoins, right? But you don't see that every now and then. You know what I mean? You really don't, right? So yeah, holding one for Bitcoin is sort of rare today, but it's going to be extremely rare, I reckon in the next decade, right? Over, the year 2030. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. But the market is, in fact, dropping. But, everything's still holding up pretty well. Bitcoin is still at $30,000. Ethereum is still at $1,800. A fair few of these altcoins are still holding up pretty well as well. Not much movements, though, for the past few days. But we will see what's going to happen, right? We could potentially see this market drop even more, because it seems like overall the market is, in fact, dropping. Now it's at 2.50%. But we will see, guys. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe. If you guys haven't seen my most previous videos that I've uploaded today, you should definitely check them out. I would really appreciate that. And of course, subscribe, guys. Let's get to 3,000 subscribers. And on that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Have a blessed day, guys.